Have you ever looked up at the night sky, seen that beautiful, familiar silver orb, and wondered, what if it came crashing down? What if the moon, our silent celestial partner, suddenly decided to pay us a very, very close visit? It's a classic sci-fi trope, but have you ever really thought about what would happen? Well, buckle up, because the reality is far more terrifying and spectacular than you could possibly imagine. The short answer? A planet-sterilizing extinction event beyond anything in Earth's history. But how would it all unfold? Let's break down this ultimate cosmic catastrophe. Long before the final cataclysmic impact, the simple act of the moon getting closer would unleash absolute chaos. Its gravitational pull, which we normally experience as gentle ocean tides, would become a weapon of planetary destruction. Imagine this. The tides wouldn't just be high, they would be thousands of feet high. Monstrous walls of water, miles into the sky, would surge across continents, erasing every coastal city and low-lying area from the map in a single brutal wash. But the water would be the least of our worries. The solid ground beneath our feet would start to heave and buckle. We're talking about global earthquakes so powerful they'd register as magnitude 13 or more on a scale that only goes up to 10. The planet's crust would literally be torn apart from the strain, triggering volcanic eruptions on every continent simultaneously. The entire world would become a symphony of fire and shaking Earth, and the moon itself wouldn't just fall in a straight line. As it got closer to Earth, it would reach what's known as the Roche limit. At this point, Earth's gravity would be so overpowering that it would start ripping the moon apart. Our beautiful moon would disintegrate, likely forming a terrifying and spectacular ring of rocky debris around our planet, a prelude to the main event. We would be living inside a planetary-scale snow globe of death. Then comes the moment of impact. The kinetic energy released would be incomprehensible. The moon is orbiting us at over 2,200 miles per hour. The energy from that collision would be millions of times greater than the asteroid that wiped out the dinosaurs. It wouldn't be an explosion. It would be a moment of pure planetary-scale uncreation. The point of impact, likely an entire hemisphere of our planet, would be instantly vaporized. The crust, the mantle, all of it, gone. Blasted into space. There wouldn't be a crater left behind. Instead, you'd have a gaping wound of molten rock, a boiling scar on the face of the Earth. From this wound, trillions of tons of molten and vaporized rock, the remains of both the Earth and the moon, would be ejected into space. Most of this fiery debris wouldn't escape Earth's gravity. It would form a temporary, horrifying cloud around the planet before beginning to rain back down. This is where the true nightmare begins. As this superheated rock re-enters the atmosphere, the friction would heat the air until it glowed. The entire sky across the whole planet would become a radiant, red-hot oven. The heat would be so intense, it would boil the oceans dry and set the very surface of the Earth on fire. Every tree, every building, every living thing on the surface would be incinerated within minutes. There would be nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. It would be a global firestorm. After the initial flash fry, you might think the worst is over. You'd be wrong. The sheer energy of the impact would do more than just create a firestorm. It would melt the entire crust of the planet and much of the mantle beneath it. The Earth we know, with its continents and oceans, would cease to exist. It would transform into a single, glowing ball of magma, a hellscape even more extreme than the surface of Venus. What about the atmosphere and oceans? Blasted into space. Any water that remained would be vaporized and locked within the molten rock for millions, if not billions of years. Life, in every form, would be utterly erased. From the birds in the sky to the fish in the sea, to even the hardiest bacteria living deep within the Earth's crust or at volcanic vents, everything would be cooked. It's not just an extinction event. It's a hard reset of the planet to a primordial state, even before life first began. The debris from the collision that was blasted into orbit would eventually form a new ring around this molten Earth. Over millions of years, gravity would do its work. This ring of rock and dust would slowly clump together, coalesce, and form a brand new moon. Or perhaps the remains of the Earth and moon would merge into a single, larger new world. Either way, the Earth-Moon system as we know it would be gone forever, replaced by a new celestial body forged in fire. Okay, deep breaths. Before you start building a bunker and eyeing the moon with suspicion, let's be crystal clear. This is not going to happen. This scenario is a fascinating thought experiment, but it remains firmly in the realm of science fiction. Why? Because the Earth-Moon system is incredibly stable. In fact, the Moon is doing the exact opposite of falling towards us. Thanks to the physics of tidal interactions, the Moon is slowly, gradually moving away from Earth. It's drifting off at a rate of about 1.5 inches per year. That's about the same speed your fingernails grow. So, over immense timescales, the Moon will appear smaller in our sky, not larger. For the Moon to actually hit us, something truly extraordinary would have to happen. A colossal amount of energy would need to be removed from its orbit. This would require a rogue, planet-sized object from outside our solar system to fly through just the right spot to knock the Moon off its course. The odds of that happening are so infinitesimally small they are practically zero. So, you can rest assured. The next time you look up at the Moon, you don't need to see a harbinger of doom. You can see it for what it is, a beautiful, stable, and essential partner that makes life on Earth possible. It's a reminder of the grand and thankfully predictable dance of celestial mechanics. What did you think of this cosmic catastrophe? It's a wild concept to wrap your head around. If you enjoyed this journey into planetary physics, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the wonders and what-ifs of our universe. Thanks for watching, and keep looking up.